Hello, beautiful friends and book lovers. I hope that you are all doing well. Today I am coming at you with a book review on The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is written by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This was a June 2017 book of the month. I want to say this was like the 2917 top book of the month. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I thought I remember reading that somewhere. But I've been seeing this all over Instagram. If you don't follow my book Instagram, it's super simple. It's just at Heather's Book Review. But I've been seeing everyone reading this, like currently reading this and just saying like how they've heard so many great things and it was so good. And I just had to take a little bit of a break from my constant reading of thrillers and pick this up, and boy, am I so happy that I did. So I just wanted to say that yes, we are ready for Christmas already in this household with 36 days left to go. Typically, we decorate the day after Thanksgiving, but I was like, you know what? It's 2020 and we're doing it. So as always, I tell you what I'm gonna be reviewing this video and what my next reviews are going to be on. So my next review is going to be on Jar of Hearts, which is written by Jennifer Hillier. This is definitely a thriller. Well, it's categorized as a thriller. I would say it's just more of like a suspense, but whatever. I'll get to that in that review. And then I've also started a Court of Thorns and Roses series and loving that. Loving that. I am like 100 pages into a Court of... let me just grab it really quick. I can't keep all the freaking titles straight, but I'm about 100 pages into A Court of Wings and Ruin. So I'm going to be doing a series of videos on this complete series because my goal was to start reading a new series in the month of November, which I did, and I flew through the first 2 books. But yes, I will have an entire, probably just like I'll create a playlist on here of all my thoughts on these books. All right, so let's just get chatting on The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. What is the hype? Why is it so amazing? What is it about? As always in all my videos, I will give you a non-spoiler book description, review, and my ratings. And then for those of us who have read, there will be a book chat near the end of the video, and I will put the timestamp here for you in the event that you have read it and you just want to hear my thoughts. So our book starts off with a character named Monique, who is an editor for a magazine company. And you know, she herself has just went through a divorce. She's kind of in this, you know, rough patch of her life, and she's trying to move up in the company, but it's really difficult to do so. And all of a sudden, she is sought out by Evelyn Hugo, who is a very famous and older movie star. So the way that I was thinking of this book was like if we had someone like Marilyn Monroe, and you know, she's so popular, she goes through all of these marriages, and then now she's in her, I want to say Evelyn was supposed to be in like her 70s, and you know, she's obviously done making movies, she's had quite a bit of marriages, so that's just kind of how I thought, just to like set an example of like how big was this movie star. I would compare, you know, the publicity and her popularity to someone of Marilyn Monroe. I'm sure there are going to be some people who are like, Marilyn Monroe, that's who you're comparing her to. So think of Audrey Hepburn. I mean, someone that's just so famous in the movie industry. Yeah. So anyways, super random, but Evelyn's like, I want Monique to come and meet me and to basically write about my life. And Monique is like, what in the world? Like, she's huge. I'm some small editor. Like, there's a reason that she wants Monique. And as a reader, you're trying to figure out what that reason is. And you do find it out, and it's so freaking good. So basically, this book is following the very dramatic and suspenseful life of Evelyn Hugo as she's telling her journey of all of her marriages, her journey, she's saying this to Monique, all of her marriages, who her friends were in the industry, how she even got into the industry. And you basically grow with Evelyn Hugo as she first starts from being a nobody to one of the most, if not the most, famous actress of her time. This is definitely getting a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads and a 10 out of 10 for my personal rating. I have been describing this book to my friends as an addictive read for many reasons that it's kind of challenging to pinpoint just one. I think for me specifically, it was finding out all about Evelyn's, just like finding out all about her life. Like, why does she have all of these husbands? Why aren't her marriages working? What is the secret of why she wants Monique to be the editor? And you're just gripped. I mean, I think it took a little bit for me. I think it took me until like page 80 to finally be like, okay, like I'm invested in this. But guys, it's so good. And I really understand the hype. So now I'm going to get into the book chat part of the video for those of us who have read. So if you're new to my channel, I would love if you could hit that subscribe button before you leave and that post notification bell so you are notified every time I post a new bookish related video. One thing I really appreciated about this book was the immense character development that not only just our main character or Evelyn, but multiple characters in the story had. Let me just start with Evelyn. She completely struggled with her ethnicity of being Cuban, trying to make it in the movie industry. She felt like she had to change her name. She felt like she had to change her hair color. She wouldn't be accepted. And let's be honest, but at that time, she 100% had to do those things. Sorry if you hear my puppy in the background. He is in a playful mood. She also struggled with her sexuality. I think as a reader, we were supposed to understand that Evelyn didn't realize she was bisexual until she was with Celia. And when she did, obviously, again, in that time period, it was not acceptable, to be anything other than heterosexual. So Celia, I always got the vibe that like she didn't care if the world knew, right? She was comfortable with who she was. But unfortunately, Evelyn was not, and you just saw her struggle so much with that in the story, and it affected her personally, but it obviously affected Celia and their relationship as well, multiple times. Part of that huge wedge that was driven between Celia and Evelyn was the fact that Evelyn justified not having the silver spoon upbringing that Celia did. And I mean, she was like, I had to work for everything to be here. And like, I get that, but they both worked hard. And I felt like she often just used that as like a crutch to not, want to be public of her love with Celia. And I feel like as a reader, we were supposed to understand that Celia didn't want any of those excuses. She wanted to be with Evelyn, and it seemed like she just wanted it a little bit more, and she was willing to risk a lot more. Evelyn was a very stubborn and determined character. She used her body and her sexuality to get where she wanted to be in the movie industry and to get where she wanted to get in life, and she was determined to get there, and basically nothing would stop her. Now let's chat about Monique. I did not see that twist coming, that Harry's second love in life was actually Monique's father. And, then we had the connection of why Evelyn wanted to interview Monique and tell her the whole story. And I was so shocked at that piece. I was wondering if any of you readers who have read this book were able to put the pieces together with the dates and timelines and the articles, and that knowing that Monique's father had that was a director background. Were you guys able to piece that together? Because I definitely was not, and my jaw was on the freaking floor. Monique did a lot of character growth in this story. From all of the conversations she had with Evelyn, she was able to grow personally. She saw some similarities between, a few of Evelyn's divorces and Evelyn finding herself, and Monique really needing to find herself and not settle. And I feel like we saw that character growth from her, definitely from beginning to end, and how she was gaining that clarity even with her frustrations and, you know, kind of hatred for Evelyn towards the end of the story, she was able to personally grow from her failed marriage and understand that, you know, that wasn't going to define her as a person. Harry was probably my absolute favorite character in this whole story. Sorry, I'm holding my laptop here because I have so many notes on this book, and I don't want to, it's going to take forever to edit this book if I or if this video, if I pause and have to read after every single time. I feel like I had written down that Harry loved Evelyn with every fiber of his being. Like, he would do anything for her. They were truly, truly, truly best friends. When John died, my heart broke for Harry, and my heart continued to break as Harry definitely, you know, became an alcoholic, and that pretty much was running his life after his heartbreak. He ended up taking his own life, you know, due to being drunk while driving, and also Monique's father's life. And it was just like such a sad ending for Harry. And to be completely honest with you guys, the ending of this story was not a happy one. This story was filled with loss and, you know, just, yes, there was a lot of determination from the characters and hard work and perseverance, but there was also a ton of heartbreak on multiple levels and just, I don't know, it was filled with a lot of loss. This book is a perfect example of you can have all the money in the world, and yet, you know, you could still be hit with that misfortune and that loss, and it doesn't matter what you have. I mean, think of how Evelyn's life ended. She literally ended up killing herself. So that is basically everything. All of my thoughts on the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Please let me know what you guys thought about this book in the comments below. And like I said, my next review is going to be on Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. She also wrote Little Secrets, which was one of my favorite books so far of 2020. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.